the channel. I'm excited to bring you a new tutorial. This one is specifically on female breastplates, and these are size extra large. Yee! And I have patterns for each of these breastplates available individually on my website, or if you'd like to save a little money, because you know everybody likes to, you can purchase the bundle and get all 4 of these patterns in one. Yay! But before we begin on how to make these, remember to like the video as well as don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that way you can stay up to date with all of the latest cosplay tutorials here and be part of our building community. So, let's begin. And here are all of the tools and materials that you'll need for making each of these breastplates, and I'll have links to all of it in the description, including the 4mm HD foam. Now let's begin with our first pattern, which is going to be pattern number 13. And I highly suggest heat treating your foam before doing anything. This is gonna make it so your foam is gonna be less porous, and it'll make it where your glue will be able to attach better to itself, and you don't have to do this at a later step. So do that first, and then once you have assembled your pattern and printed it out and everything, you will want to cut each of those pieces of paper out and put them onto your foam and trace each of the pieces. Once they're traced, remove that paper and don't forget to label it so you know which piece goes to which. Afterwards, we're gonna grab our X-Acto knife or a box cutter, whichever floats your boat, as well as don't forget your cutting mat underneath so we don't cut our table, and cut each of the pieces out. And here's what all of the pieces should look like once they're cut out, and this is going to be for pieces A through I. Next up is gluing, and reminder when using contact cement glue, always wear your respirator to protect your lungs, and make sure you have no critter in the room because you want your furry friend to stay with you forever. But anyway, we're going to be using contact cement glue, and this is where we're going to apply the glue onto all of the labeled edges onto our foam pieces. Once the glue is fully dry, then we can start assembling it. And once that is all dry, we can start assembling, and we're gonna start with the cup pieces first, starting with E attaching it to D, and then D attaching it to C to complete that cup. And then we're gonna repeat it for H, G, and F to complete both the cups. A little helpful tip is to use the table when attaching all of your pieces. Do not attach them in mid-air. So with this, you will take the 2 pieces, start from the bottom, and push the pieces together using the table underneath. Slowly, you're working your way to the other side. This will ensure that your pieces will attach flush, and you won't have weird seam gaps, and they will be aligned as close as possible. Then we're going to grab our next piece, which is B, and we're going to attach both the cups onto it. To tack it in the center first and then tack it onto the other side and work your way back and forth. Either way is fine. Just take note of which pieces attach to which as indicated with the pattern. And then repeat this for the other cup, as well as don't forget to attach the parts of the cup E and H together in the center. And the last parts for this pattern are going to be attaching our back pieces, and this is going to be A attaching to B, as well as I attaching to B. And that will complete this breastplate pattern number 13. Let's make pattern number 14. Again, heat treat that foam first using your heat gun, and then we're going to transfer all of this pattern onto our foam using a Sharpie. Also, don't forget to label each of those parts. And again, cut each one out using either a box cutter or an X-Acto knife. And here's what all of the pieces should look like once they're cut out, and these will be A through J. Then on to gluing, and just like before, grab that respirator because we want to protect our lungs and stay as healthy as long as possible. And we're going to apply this contact cement glue onto all of the labeled edges. Once they are fully dry, then we can start to assemble. And just like the first pattern, we're also going to start with the cups. And for this one, they're going to be attaching E to D and D to C, followed by I to H, and H to G to complete both of the cups. And it should look pretty similar to our first pattern of this bundle. But this one is going to be a tiny bit different, and we're going to attach the cups to their bottom section, and each of the bottom sections are separate from the middle this time. So we're going to grab the EDC piece, and it's going to attach to B. Again, do a little tack on each of the sides, and then slowly connect the pieces together towards the center to get the best attachment. And then we're going to repeat this for the other cup of G, H, and I, connecting to F. Then to grab both our new two pieces together, and we're going to attach them down the center. And this may be a little bit tricky, especially towards the center where the cups attach, but just go slow working from the top, doing a tack there, attaching the bottom, doing a tack there, and slowly working towards the center. Reminder, you can flip the foam back and forth, upside down, underside, to firmly push them together to make sure you have the best attachment. And then to attach the last two pieces, and that's going to be attaching the back parts of A to B, as well as the other back part J to F, to complete pattern number 14. Up next is pattern number 15, which is actually my favorite pattern out of this bundle. And again, heat treat your foam with the heat gun, same process as the other two patterns. And we're going to put all of our pattern pieces onto our 4mm HD foam, trace it with a Sharpie, and don't forget to label each of the parts before cutting it out with either a box cutter or an X-Acto knife. And here's what all of the pieces should look like once they're cut out, and these will be parts A through L. And please excuse Nami, she refused to move for this picture. So next, we're going to grab that contact cement glue and of course that respirator, and we're gonna apply this glue onto all of the labeled edges. Again, wait for it to fully dry, and once it's dry, we can start assembling. Starting with our cups first, and this is going to be attaching F to E, and then E to D. And reminder, use that table to attach the pieces flat, starting from one side and slowly work your way to the other. And then we're gonna repeat this for the other cup, which will be J, I, and H. Then we're going to grab the next pieces underneath. So this one's going to be C, and we're going to be attaching it to the cup F, E, and D. Again, starting with a tack on either side, and then slowly working your way towards the center. And repeat this for the other piece with G attaching to J, I, and H. Then both of those now connected pieces, we're going to attach down the center. Again, doing the top part, doing our little tack there, and then we're gonna do a tack at the bottom and slowly work our way towards the center. Reminder, flip the foam back and forth, upside down to push it together firmly. This will be a little bit tricky towards the very center, but take your time and you will get it just right. And a little helpful tip, if it just is not wanting to connect, you can always go back and add a little bit more contact cement glue for the parts that don't align. Wait for it to dry. Once the glue is dry again, then you can attach it. Now on to the back pieces, and for these, this is gonna be A first, and you're gonna notice that there's a triangle piece that needs to attach to itself. So we're gonna start at the base of the triangle, and we're gonna slowly connect it towards the top to finish that piece, and we're gonna repeat the same process for the other back piece, which is gonna be L. And each of these pieces will need to connect to a side piece as well, and this is gonna be A attaching to B, as well as K is going to attach to L. And at this point, you should have 3 main pieces for this breastplate, and we're going to attach them together. So next is going to be B, which is going to attach to C, and then we're going to attach the other side, which is K, that is going to attach to G. And the very last steps for completing this breastplate is going to be the shoulder parts. And this is going to be where we attach A to F, followed by J to L. And that will complete this pattern of number 15. And last but not least is the final breastplate pattern of this bundle, which is number 16. And I will note you will be using the most amount of foam for this pattern, as well as it is the most trickiest, but it's not too tricky. So I'm sure you're gonna get it. Just follow this video and go slow and you'll get it. And this one, you're gonna wanna heat treat that foam, just like all the other ones, with your heat gun. And we're going to then place all of our paper pattern onto our 4mm foam, trace it with a Sharpie, and label it, as well as cut it out next using an X-Acto knife and a box cutter on top of our cutting mat. And once that's done, you should have all of these cut out pieces, which will be parts A through L. Then back to gluing, which again, don't forget that respirator, and we're gonna apply our contact cement glue to all of the labeled edges. And once the glue is fully dry, we can start assembling it. Starting with our cup pieces, which are gonna be parts F connecting to E, and then E connecting to D. We're going to repeat this for the other cup, which is going to be J connecting to I and I connecting to J. Reminder, use that table to connect each of the pieces so that way everything aligns flush and you won't have any gaps between the foam. Then grab that now connected cup piece of F, E, and D, and we're going to connect it to the lower part, which is going to be C. Again, start on one side, work your way towards the other, and we're going to repeat this for the other side, which is going to be J-I-H cup, and that's going to connect to the part G. Then for the most difficult part of this pattern, which is connecting those two pieces together down the center, and work your way back and forth, do a tack on either side. I also did a tack in the very center and slowly push the pieces together. Reminder, if it doesn't fully attach on the first try, it is okay. You can always apply a little bit more contact cement glue, wait for it to fully dry, and then you can attach it again. And this will help because sometimes the glue, you just might not have applied enough, it wasn't thick enough, and so just adding that little bit will help ensure that it connects. And if it's a little more messy on the inside, nobody's gonna see it because it's not gonna be shown. So you're good! Then onto the back pieces, and just like our previous breastplate pattern we just did, number 15, we're going to be doing the same thing. Grabbing our first back piece, which is A, and you're going to notice that on the top there is a triangle-like piece that is cut out, and we're going to start at the point and slowly connect those two parts together, going up to the top. And then we're going to repeat this for the other back piece, which is going to be part L. Once those are done, we can connect their side pieces to them. In this one, we're going to be doing A, connecting it to B, and I found it the most easiest way to do a tack at the top and a tack at the bottom, and then slowly work the two parts together towards the center. And we're going to repeat this for the other part, which is going to be connecting K to part L. And once again, you should have now 3 main parts for this breastplate, and we're going to start connecting them together. So we're going to start with connecting G to K, and then we're going to repeat this for the other side of B to C. And the very last step for this breastplate is connecting our shoulder pieces, and this is going to be connecting A to F, as well as the other side, which is L to J. And that will complete the very last breastplate pattern from this bundle, which is number 16. Congratulations! And that, guys, is how to make all 4 of these female breastplates size extra large to help you with your next build. And I hope that you found this video helpful for making them, as well as let me know which of these breastplate patterns are your favorite, and should I make more of these to help you? Let me know in the comments. And a big thank you to all of my company sponsors here on YouTube, as well as all of those members, specifically the legendary members who financially help so I can continue doing this as my full-time job. And I will see you for our next tutorial. Much love, guys.